My son Ryan phoned to tell me I was no longer welcome at his beach wedding. His fiancée, Ashley, apparently didn't feel comfortable having me there. I ended the call, poured myself a glass of wine, and began plotting what would soon become the most unforgettable wedding video on the internet. If you're watching this, hit subscribe and tell me where you're tuning in from. But let me backtrack a little so you understand how Margaret Williams, a 62-year-old retired high school principal, ended up being the most talked about mother-in-law online in just 3 days. It began on a Tuesday morning when my phone rang. "Mom, we need to talk," Ryan said, with that familiar tone he'd used since he was a boy, usually right before delivering bad news. "What is it, sweetheart?" He hesitated, then admitted, "Ashley and I were talking about the wedding. She's really overwhelmed trying to make everything perfect. You know how brides are." I could already guess where this was going, but I let him keep digging. "And, well, she doesn't want you there. She feels your presence might make things awkward." For 27 years, I had raised Ryan alone after his father walked away from parenthood. I'd worked endless double shifts to cover his tuition, his first car, even the deposit for his apartment. I'd swallowed Ashley's sly remarks for 2 years, her little jabs about my outdated cooking and old-fashioned views. "I see," I replied evenly, though my fingers clenched tighter around the phone. "And you agree with her?" "Mom, please don't make this harder. It's just one day. We can go out for a nice dinner after the honeymoon." "Of course," I said softly. "I understand." The relief in his voice was almost painful. "Really? Thanks, Mom. I knew you'd take it well." When I hung up, I sat staring at the wedding invitation pinned to my fridge. Elegant lettering announced the union of Ashley Thompson and Ryan Williams, taking place at Sunset Beach Resort that Saturday. The very invitation I'd helped Ryan address, since Ashley had claimed her carpal tunnel made writing impossible. I pulled it down, tore it clean in half, and tossed it in the trash. Then I opened my laptop. Time to do some research. What Ashley didn't know about me was simple. I might be 62, but I've been online longer than she has. 30 years as a high school principal meant decades of wrangling entitled teenagers. I knew every trick in the book. Ashley Thompson Williams was about to discover that this old woman had more than a few tricks left herself. But first, I needed backup. At 8 a.m. sharp the next morning, I rang my sister Sandra, the wild one of the family. "Maggie? What's wrong? You never call this early unless someone died." "Not dead," I sighed. "Just disowned. Ryan uninvited me from his wedding." "He did what? After all you've done for him?" I told her the whole story, while she provided the right amount of furious commentary. 2 years younger than me, but acting 20 years younger, Sandy was the perfect partner in what I had in mind. "So, what's the plan?" she asked knowingly. "You've got that voice. You used the same one when you caught the Patterson boy trying to cheat on his SATs. I need intel." Ashley Thompson, age 28, works at Morrison Marketing. I want to know her routine, every detail. "Maggie Elizabeth Williams, what are you up to?" "Nothing illegal. Just gathering information." She was quiet a moment. "This is bigger than the wedding, isn't it?" She wasn't wrong. For 2 years, I'd watched Ashley cut Ryan off from his family and friends, drip by drip. She'd convinced him I was too critical, told him his college buddies were immature. Every holiday revolved around her comfort. Every family dinner included barbs about my food, my home, my choices. I'd stayed silent to keep my son close. And now I'd lost him anyway. "Sandy," I said slowly, "what would you say if I told you I had video footage that the wedding guests might find interesting?" "I'd say, spill it." Saturday morning, at Brewster's Cafe downtown, I sat sipping coffee when Ashley walked up to meet a tall man with dark hair. "Not Ryan." "Oh no, Maggie," Sandy said later. "Tell me you didn't." "I didn't plan it," I admitted. But when she practically climbed into this man's lap in broad daylight 2 days before her wedding, I figured someone should capture it. The truth was, I'd been following her for 3 days. Something about the smugness in her voice when she answered Ryan's phone the night he uninvited me set me off. People who are hiding something tend to relax when they think no one's watching. You filmed it. 47 minutes of Ashley Thompson being very close with someone who definitely wasn't my son. Sandy laughed, the same laugh that had gotten us into trouble as teenagers. So, what's next? Tomorrow, I said, we're going shopping for the perfect wedding gift. The following morning, we met at Riverside Mall. To anyone watching, we looked like two ordinary suburban women browsing for gifts, not like two sisters planning strategic revenge. So, what's our cover? Sandy asked as we strolled past the fountain.
We're shopping, I said.
Shopping for thoughtful, personalized gifts. We'd already scoped out Morrison marketing earlier that day. Ashley always left for lunch at 12:15 and returned by 1:30, like clockwork. Sandy had even charmed the receptionist into revealing details with a story about surprising Ashley with flowers. The man from the cafe? Jake Patterson. I'd followed them enough to learn he owned a fitness studio near her office. Married, 2 kids. His wife, Jennifer, posted family photos daily on Instagram. This is messy, Sandy muttered later as we sat in a coffee shop across from Jake's gym. Actually, I said, pointing. It's about to get simple. Ashley walked out in trendy gym clothes, hair flawless, phone in hand. She glanced around, then slipped into a black SUV parked in the alley. 5 minutes later, Jake joined her. They're not even hiding it, Sandy said. Why would they? Everyone thinks I'm just a bitter old mother. No one would ever believe me. I raised my phone and started recording again. The SUV drove off to an apartment complex I'd already mapped. Unit 214, Jake's little secret hideout his wife clearly didn't know about. What are we doing, Maggie? Sandy asked quietly as we watched them disappear inside. We're taking a drive, I said. And if we happen to catch something, that's just luck. I noted the time, 3:17 p.m. This had been going on for weeks, every Tuesday and Thursday. When Sandy asked what I planned to do with the footage, I looked at her. The sister who'd held my hand through every hardship, who'd stood in when Ryan's father walked out. And I knew my answer. I'm going to give them exactly what they deserve, a wedding video they'll never forget. That Friday night, I sat editing clips like a film director prepping for a premiere. The footage was crisp, the audio sharp, and every timestamp visible. 3 separate files: the cafe, the gym, and the apartment. I was crafting my wedding gift. Just then, the doorbell rang. Ryan stood there, guilty smile, bottle of wine in hand. Mom, can we talk? Inside, he set the wine on the counter. Ashley feels awful about how things turned out. He launched into excuses about her family's traditions and her grandmother's supposed disapproval. Lies stacked on lies. I'd met her grandmother, sweet woman. Thrilled Ashley had found someone with a mother like me. Clearly, Ashley hadn't shared that part. Ryan, I said gently, sit down. He perched like a scolded teen. Mom, please don't make this about you. It's their day. You're right, I said smoothly. It is their day, and I want it perfect for them. Relief washed over him. Really? You're not upset? I squeezed his hand. Sweetheart, all I've ever wanted is your happiness. He smiled. I love you, Mom. I know, I whispered. After he left, I returned to my computer. The video was nearly ready. I'd also built a social media persona, Sarah Mitchell, a wedding photographer, passionate about truth and integrity. Her page was polished, her quotes inspiring, her following already solid. Tomorrow, Sarah would be at the wedding with footage no one could ignore. A text buzzed in from Ryan. Thanks for being so understanding, Mom.
You're the best.
I typed back, have a wonderful wedding, sweetheart. You deserve everything coming your way. And I meant every word. The video then shifted seamlessly to Ashley's vows. I promise to honor you above all others. The irony was brutal. The grand finale, though, was straight out of a movie. Ashley and Jake, tangled together in a kiss on the beach, while it last played softly in the background. Then a cut to Ryan inside, laughing with his groomsmen, blissfully unaware. Sarah Mitchell's caption sealed it. This groom deserves better. When family is pushed aside, The truth always finds a way to speak. Hashtag wedding truth, hashtag justice, hashtag modern marriage. My phone buzzed again. Ryan's number for the 15th time. I let it ring to voicemail. At 9:47 a.m., a knock rattled the door. Through the glass, I spotted Sandy grinning like the Cheshire Cat, holding a bakery bag. "You wicked, brilliant genius," she declared, sweeping into the kitchen. "Have you checked the news?" "What news?" I asked. She flicked on the TV and flipped to the local morning program. And there it was. Ashley's wedding portrait splashed across the screen with a headline, "Viral video exposes cheating bride." The anchor reported, "The videographer remains unidentified, but the footage has ignited a national debate on honesty in marriage and the role of extended family in modern weddings." "They're calling you the mystery wedding photographer," Sandy cackled. "Channel 7 wants an exclusive with Sarah Mitchell. But surprise, they can't track her down." Just then, a text came through from an unknown number. "We know it was you. Take the video down or face the consequences." I held the screen out to Sandy. "Looks like Ashley isn't enjoying her honeymoon." "What are you going to do?" she asked. "Nothing," I said coolly. "I'm just a heartbroken mother left out of her son's wedding. What would I possibly know about viral videos?" The doorbell rang again. This time, it was Jennifer Patterson, Jake's wife. I knew her from Instagram, though in person she looked nothing like the cheerful woman who shared motivational quotes. Her eyes were swollen, her hands trembling. "Mrs. Williams," she whispered.
"I am Jennifer Patterson."
"We need to talk." I welcomed her in, poured coffee, and waited. "My husband's in that video," she said, her voice breaking. "I've suspected for months, but seeing it, time-stamped, undeniable." She collapsed into sobs. "I'm so sorry," I told her, meaning every word. "I never wanted innocent people caught in this." "You did the right thing," she managed through her tears. "My children deserve better than a father who lies. And your son deserves better than a wife who betrays him." "How long?" I asked softly. 3 months, at least," Jennifer admitted. "But the Maple Street apartment, he's had that at least 6 months." 6 months. Half a year of secret rendezvous while Ashley played blushing bride, letting everyone pour money and love into a wedding she knew was a farce. "What will you do now?" I asked. "I've already filed for divorce. My lawyer says your video counts as evidence. Jake's about to lose everything." She looked me square in the eyes. "Thank you for the truth. I know it cost you, too." When she left, I sat alone, staring at my phone. 17 missed calls from Ryan, 12 from Ashley, half a dozen from strangers. The view count ticked past 4.1 million. This time, when the phone rang again, I answered. "Mom." Ryan's voice cracked. "We need to talk." He showed up Monday evening looking like he'd aged 5 years in 2 days. Even the sunburn from Cancun couldn't hide the dark circles under his eyes or the slump in his shoulders. "The whole resort knew," he groaned, collapsing into a chair. People were staring, whispering. Someone even recognized Ashley from the video and asked for her autograph. Can you believe that? Her autograph. I poured him a cup of coffee and stayed quiet. Sometimes, the only gift a mother can give is silence. "Mom," he dragged a hand over his face. "Ashley swears you hired a private investigator. She was convinced the entire thing was orchestrated, that I'd been watching her, following her for months." "And what do you think?" I asked gently. Ryan's bloodshot eyes met mine. "I don't believe my mother would ever do something so heartless just because her pride was wounded." The accusation stung, but I forced my face to remain calm. "Ryan, do you think the video is fake?"
"No."
"God, no." He shook his head. "That's the worst part. It's all real, isn't it? Every second of it." I reached for his hand across the table. "I'm sorry you had to discover the truth like this." "Are you? Really?" "Because part of me feels like you're enjoying this, Mom." His words hit me harder than I expected. Was I enjoying it? Watching Ashley's flawless mask shatter? Seeing her lose control of the story she had so carefully written for herself? Maybe I was enjoying it just a little. "I'm sorry you're in pain," I said carefully. I'm sorry you married someone who doesn't respect you. But I'm not sorry the truth came out. She says it meant nothing. That Jake was just helping her with her nerves before the wedding. That what happened was only stress relief. I looked at him, this grown man clinging to fairy tales. Sweetheart, she's been involved with Jake for 6 months. She rented an apartment. She even planned to move to California right after the honeymoon, without telling you first. That isn't stress relief. That's betrayal. His eyes widened. How do you know about California? I told him about what I'd overheard in the bridal suite. His face fell as each detail landed. She had it all figured out, he whispered. Leaving everyone behind, even you?
Yes.
The job offer is real. She accepted it weeks ago. She was going to sell it to you as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We sat in heavy silence. The streetlights flickered on outside. A neighbor's dog barked endlessly.
Mom.
I need you to be completely honest with me.
Did you make that video?
I studied him. The little boy who once ran to me with scraped knees, the teenager who trusted me with his first heartbreak, the young man who used to call every Sunday until Ashley convinced him not to. No, I said. I didn't create it. It was technically true. Sarah Mitchell had made it. Relief washed over his face. I knew it. I told Ashley you'd never be capable of that. Ryan, what are you going to do now? I don't know. She wants us to move to California, start over away from all this. But every time I look at her, I see that video. Her laughing about you, kissing him, plotting my life without even asking me. Then you already know your answer.
Doi.
Because it feels like I'm losing everything. My marriage, my trust, maybe even you. You'll never lose me, sweetheart. Not ever. He hugged me then, tighter than he had in years. I love you, Mom. No matter what happens next, I need you to remember that. After he left, I opened my laptop. The video had passed 8.2 million views. Sarah Mitchell had gained 200,000 new followers. Ashley, on the other hand, had been tagged in over 50,000 comments, none of them kind. The truth can be brutal, but it is still the truth. The next morning, my doorbell rang. Ashley stood there in oversized sunglasses and a baseball cap, looking nothing like the confident bride who'd barred me from her wedding just 4 days earlier. We need to talk, she said, barging past me without waiting for an invitation. Come right in, I muttered at her retreating back. She paced the living room like a trapped animal. You've destroyed my life.
My job wants me to take a leave.
My family won't speak to me. Jake's wife is filing for divorce and naming me in it. Everything is falling apart, and it's all your fault. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. Are you? She spun around, eyes blazing.
No. You planned every second of this. You had someone follow me and Jake.
You wanted revenge because I hurt your feelings. I sat calmly on the couch, gesturing for her to sit. She refused, trembling with anger. Ashley, let me ask you something. If the situation were reversed, if Ryan had been unfaithful and I had proof, would you want me to tell you? That's different, she snapped.
No.
It isn't. Choices have consequences. The video didn't create your affair or your lies. It just revealed them. You don't get it, she said, voice cracking. Jake challenges me. Ryan is kind, but he doesn't push me. Jake makes me feel alive. So you married the wrong man? I married a good man. That should be enough. I watched her face, realizing something I hadn't before. Beneath the anger was confusion. She honestly believed she could balance 2 lives, security with Ryan, excitement with Jake. Did you love Ryan when you married him? I asked. Of course I did. I still do. Then why keep me away from the wedding? She finally sat breaking down. Because you see too much. You make me feel like I'll never be enough for him. Are you enough? I asked quietly. She hesitated. I don't know. Jake made me feel alive in ways Ryan never did. I thought I could have both. That no one would get hurt.
Someone always gets hurt, Ashley.
The only question is who and when. Tears filled her eyes. I never meant for it to go this far. Jake was supposed to be my last fling before settling down. But it didn't stop, it only grew stronger. Then came the job in California. I thought it was a sign. A way to start over. Maybe even be with Jake. For a brief moment, I pitied her, so young, yet destroying her own life with choices she couldn't take back. You need to tell Ryan the full truth, I said. He'll leave me. Maybe. But if you keep lying, you'll lose him for sure. And yourself too. She turned toward the window, silent for several minutes. Can you get the video taken down? I can't. And even if I could, screenshots are everywhere. It's permanent now. So that's it, I'm ruined. My career, my marriage, my reputation, all gone because of a few bad choices. You're 28. You're only ruined if you let yourself be. But stop blaming others. Take responsibility. Ashley left without another word. From my window, I watched her sit in her car for 10 minutes before finally driving off. That evening, Ryan called. Ashley told me everything. About Jake, California, all of it. How are you holding up? I'm filing for annulment. Turns out when your wife plans to uproot your life without telling you, that's fraud. Relief swept through me. I'm proud of you. Mom, I need to apologize for letting Ashley treat you badly, for shutting you out, for doubting you when the video surfaced. You don't need to apologize for loving someone. But I do need to apologize for choosing her over you. You've always been in my corner. I let her convince me you weren't. What matters is you see clearly now.
Ida.
And I see I have the strongest mother in the world. You taught me that actions have consequences. Even when I forgot. So, what's next? I'm moving back home for now. I need to rediscover who I am, apart from her. Your room is exactly how you left it. 3 weeks after the wedding that broke the internet, I was picking apples in the produce section when a young woman stopped me. Excuse me, are you Margaret Williams? My stomach dropped. Had someone linked me to the viral video? Yes, I said cautiously. I'm Sarah Chun, Channel 7 News. I'm investigating the wedding scandal. Could I ask you a few questions? This was the moment I had dreaded. I'm not sure how I can help. You're Ryan Williams' mother, correct? The groom? Yes. And you weren't invited to your own son's wedding? That's correct. She lifted her phone, recording. How did that make you feel? Sad. I admitted. Every mother hopes to share her son's wedding day. Did you know about your daughter-in-law's affair? I only knew what I witnessed as Ryan's mother. Some believe you were behind the video. Any comment? This was it, the choice. I could lie and deny, or I could take ownership. Sarah, I said, let me tell you something about being a mother. When your child is in pain, your first instinct is to protect them. Sometimes that means stepping back and letting them learn. Other times it means stepping in. Her eyes narrowed. So, are you saying you did make the video? What I'm saying, I told her, is that sometimes the truth needs a little help finding its way to the surface. Sarah's eyes widened. She hadn't expected me to go this far. Mrs. Williams, are you admitting, on camera, that you created the viral wedding video? I thought of Ryan, back in his childhood room, piecing together his confidence one day at a time. I thought of Jennifer Patterson, finally freed from a dishonest husband. I thought of the thousands of comments thanking Sarah Mitchell for revealing what had been hidden. I'm admitting, I said evenly, that I love my son enough to make sure he knew the truth about the woman he married, even if it meant risking everything with him. Even though it humiliated your daughter-in-law in front of the world? Ashley humiliated herself. I just shined a light on it. The interview aired that evening. By morning, my phone was flooded with requests from talk shows, podcasts, even documentary crews. #JusticeGrandma was trending. Articles popped up about motherly instinct, wedding scandals, and whether exposing the truth justified the collateral damage. Some called me brave. Others called me cruel. Sometimes both at once. But Ryan never wavered. My mom saved me from the worst mistake of my life, he told reporters outside our home. She saw what I was too blind to see. Ashley, meanwhile, left for California to take the job she'd planned on all along. Jake was living alone in a studio, scraping by at a new gym after his wife took everything in the divorce. The video had passed 50 million views. Sarah Mitchell was now internet famous, though everyone knew the real source was me. And for the first time in 2 years, I felt something unexpected.
Peace.
No more walking on eggshells around my son's partner. No more pretending to like someone who mocked me behind my back. No more silently enabling a relationship built on secrets. The truth, however messy, had set all of us free. 6 months later, Ryan was thriving. He'd started therapy, reconnected with old friends Ashley had isolated him from, and even begun seeing a kind young woman named Emma, someone who actually enjoyed my company. The wedding video had become a case study in digital ethics and the dangers of viral exposure. I'd sat for interviews, appeared on podcasts, even worked with a documentary team. Netflix had bought the rights for a film version, though I doubted Hollywood could capture the complicated emotions behind what looked like simple revenge. The most surprising moment came on an October evening when my phone rang. "Mrs. Williams? It's Ashley. Ashley Thompson." "Hello, Ashley. How are you?" "Different. Better, I think. I wanted to thank you." I was stunned. "Thank you."
Yes.
The video destroyed my life, but it also saved it. If that makes sense. "Explain," I said softly. "I've been in real therapy since moving to California. Not couples counseling, actual work on myself. And I realized I'd been living someone else's dream. The picture-perfect wedding, the husband with a good career, the house in the suburbs, none of that was truly what I wanted." I sank into my chair, holding the phone tighter. "And what do you want?" "I want to tell the truth. Especially when it's hard. I want to stop sneaking around, stop manipulating just to feel alive." "And are you getting there?" "I'm trying. I ended things with Jake for good. I told my parents about the affair. I even told the man I'm dating now. He knows everything, no lies." "I'm glad you're finding your way," I told her. "Mrs. Williams, I need to apologize. Not only for the affair, but for how I treated you. You weren't the problem. I just hated how clearly you saw through me. Ashley, we all stumble. What matters is what we learn. I've learned that you can't build a life out of lies, no matter how pretty they look from the outside. And I've learned that mothers who ask hard questions are worth listening to." After we hung up, I sat in my kitchen, reflecting on the strange journey that had brought us here. A mother pushed aside, a viral video, a marriage destroyed, lives permanently altered. Had I done the right thing? That question had haunted me for months. But Ryan was stronger now, happier than I'd seen in years. Ashley was rebuilding her life with honesty. Jennifer Patterson had remarried and looked genuinely content. Even Jake, I'd heard, was trying to repair his relationship with his kids. Sometimes truth scorches everything in its path, but sometimes that's exactly what's needed for new growth. The videos still resurface now, and then on social media, sparking debates about family, privacy, and justice. But I no longer read the comments. I knew my reasons, and I stood by them. I had protected my son, the only way I knew how. And really, what more could a mother do? My phone buzzed. A text from Ryan. "Dinner Sunday. Emma wants to learn your lasagna recipe." I smiled and typed back. "Perfect. I'll show her all my secrets." Some secrets are worth passing on. Others are meant to be revealed. The wisdom is knowing which is which. And sometimes, if you're lucky, the truth doesn't just break you free, it sets everyone free.